It is the consensus of opinion in mainstream science that our memories are stored within the brain. And most people would not argue with that. You would expect, therefore, that if this is indeed the case, and with the availability of modern day technology and the different ways that it is possible to scan the brain, that if our memories are indeed stored within the physiology of the brain, that we should be able to observe the parts of the brain which become active when we are trying to access a memory, for instance. However, despite the best efforts of some of the very clever and gifted people that's ever lived, thousands of experiments and many hours of research on the subject, trying to identify where in the brain the memories reside, have so far drawn a blank. Now, the answer as to where our personal store of memories resides can only be one of two possible options. Either it is in the brain or it is not in the brain. And in the field of neurology, this is an ongoing present day mystery. Now, the reason why it is a continuing mystery is because the conviction that our memories are indeed stored within the brain is based on nothing more than an assumption that this is indeed the case. But this is an assumption which is more comfortable and acceptable to mainstream science than the only other possible alternative option, that the store of our memories resides out with the brain. As such, since this option is not acceptable to mainstream science, investigations on the subject are confined solely and exclusively to looking into the brain. Looking somewhere else is not considered an option. And any suggestion that this may be the case is dismissed as woo-woo. However, if it transpires that it can be proved that our memories exist out with the brain, who then will be regarded as speaking woo-woo? It is my belief that neurologists have no clue as to where the store of our memories resides, by simple virtue of the fact that they are looking in the wrong place. Now, I wish to introduce you to Alex. This is Alex. But no sooner than we have met Alex than we kill him off, with X marking the moment of Alex's conception and point Y representing the time of his or her death. Let's say Alec lived to the ripe old age of 100 years of age, as represented by the green timeline. Any arbitrary point on the line represents a static present moment in time in Alex's life. Now, since Alex has the ability at any given waking moment in his life to instantaneously recall any given specific memory from his personal store of memories, we could compare this radial green line as being equivalent to the size of a dedicated quantum memory stick, and which is immediately accessible. The continuing length of the green line as Alex gets older equates with the file size of the quantum memory stick. If we say that XY represents the path of the life of Alex through 100 years of time, we can compare this red line of a circle to the path of Alex's life through both time and space. Any arbitrary point on the red line of the circumference represents a static point in the path of Alex's life through time and space. The path of Alex's life consists of a succession of sliding door moments where the future path of his or her life could have gone in either one of two directions. This idea. No. The red line represents the actual path Alex's life took and represents the sum of all 50-50 sliding door moments in the progress of Alex's life over time. In the illustration, we can see that at any moment in Alex's life, the store of memories is represented by a straight radial line. So regardless whether it's 25, 50, 75 or 100. However, from the perspective of a static point y, any of these is a static point y, the conscious awareness of Alex, looking down, so to speak, on the straight radial timeline of the store of memories, is represented by a dimensionless static point in empty space, which exists out with the physical parameters of physical reality. In other words, this is a static point in time and space. The laws of physics states that the singularity which exists at the centre of every atom in the universe, including those of which your body is made, can be regarded as a dimensionless point which exists out with the parameters of time and space, and where the laws of physics break down. As such, if we are looking for the domain where the depository of our personal store of memories resides, it is reasonable and logical to assume that the dimensionless domain at the nucleus of the atom is a good candidate. Such an arrangement would finally solve the mystery of where our memories reside, and would also explain the phenomenon of how and why the access to our whole store of memories, when compared to a file on the hypothetical quantum memory stick, is instantaneous at any given waking moment in our life. And this leads neatly to the next topic I wish to discuss. Since the store of our memories can be defined and represented by a singular static point in time and space, which is separate and independent from physical reality, and also that this store of memories is instantaneously accessible at every given waking moment whilst we are alive, there is therefore no reason to believe that point Y here, as the depository of the store of memories of Alex, ceases to exist after the death of the physical body. This model proposes that at the time of death of the physical body, the memory stick of personal memories as a static point is downloaded at the speed of light into the depository of the whole human store of all memories. This depository of information is represented by a notional shell which resides at an altitude approximately 3,000 kilometres above the surface of the planet. This shell has a specific resonance which wholly corresponds with the collective global consciousness of humanity on the planet at that given moment in time. It is the contention of this model that the aspect of our existence which allows an individual to instantaneously access his or her own personal store of memories at any given moment in time represents the conscious, living, mortal soul of that individual, whilst that individual is alive. At the moment of death, however, this same aspect of our existence represents the immortal soul of the individual, which is reborn into a new physical existence in a process of eternal reincarnation. and I'll describe the concept of eternal and perpetual reincarnation in the next video.